The title you clicked on to watch this video may not be the same one that I see on this video, and I'll explain why in a minute. But first, there's one mistake I see business owners make with their titles over and over again because it seems like a good idea. Until it's not. Our instinct is to go after as many views as possible. Why wouldn't we? So the temptation is to write titles that help it do that. You start with your video topic and think, what can I call this to get as many people finding it and clicking on it as possible? Now, as I mentioned, I don't know what title is showing on this actual video for you right now because it may be different than what I see, but I could have called this the title mistake everyone on YouTube is making. The problem with that is broad titles attract broad audiences, and here's why we don't want that as a business owner. If the big broad audience actually likes your video, they click on it, they watch it, they leave comments, YouTube goes and tries to find more of those wrong people for you, which is not what we want. If you want to attract the most clients and customers you can, the fix is actually attracting fewer people overall. And we do this by basing our titles on viewer intent. Now, this combined with one other thing that I add to titles was the key to my channel finally taking off after 6 long months. And I'll share what that other thing here is in just a second. But first, let's just talk about what should go in your title. The first part of the formula is pretty simple. What would my client type into the search bar? Now, this matters even if they're not searching for it. In fact, YouTube is really good about putting videos in front of people that will like them, even if they don't search for the topic. So if your clients right now ask you the same question over and over again in the DMs or on calls, whatever that question is can be a great topic or title to start with. In fact, some of the first videos I had that reached hundreds of thousands of views were just videos I made because I didn't want to keep answering the same question over and over and over again every week. And sometimes they're not asking a specific question, but it's just something you know that they are frustrated by or they are worrying about. Those can make great topics as well. Once you have that, here's the first 2 parts of the formula. 1, what is that question that they're asking or thinking or worrying about? And 2, some sort of a value hook, something that makes your video the one they click on instead of somebody else's. So let's say I was going to make a video called How to Grow a Lead Generating YouTube Channel, since that's what we teach on this channel. If I was going to add a value hook to that, it would become How to Grow a Lead Generating YouTube Channel in only 90 minutes a week. That 90 minutes a week part, that's the value hook. That's why somebody's going to click on my video instead of others. Now that's the foundation of your titles. There's one more thing to add that makes a massive difference, and I want to make sure you're doing it as well. But real quick, what I just mentioned, helping you grow a lead generating YouTube channel in only 90 minutes a week, that is what we do on this channel. So if you are interested in getting more leads and views for your business, don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Now, this third element that you want to hopefully have in every single title to get the most clicks and views possible is something that I fully credit with my channel finally taking off. I struggled for about 6 months, and then right around that 4.5 month mark, I started doing this to my titles, and that's when things kicked in. It comes down to adding relevancy to your video so the person who sees it goes, oh, this is definitely the video for me. And there's 4 things you can add to your video to give it relevancy. Number 1, some sort of time signal. So for my tutorials, I started adding a year on the end of them, and that's when they really started taking off. But anything you can add that makes the video feel like it's the current one without them having to look at the published date. So it could be the year, it could be latest update, new update, anything like that if it's applicable to your industry and your video topic, of course. Second type of relevancy you can add is basically calling out the person that the video is for. So you could say health coaches, if that is your target audience, or something else that signals, oh, this is for me. For example, I've made videos about setting up a YouTube home studio, and sometimes in parentheses, I'll put something like simple work from home setup. So it's clearly for people who are running their business out of their house like I do. Third thing to add for relevancy is calling out where they are in their journey. So you could say beginner, you could say advanced. I actually had a video blow up that was a Canva tutorial that was called Canva Tutorial for Newbies. I don't ever use the word newbies, but for some reason it ended up in that video and it got hundreds of thousands of views. Now, let me give you the fourth one here in a second, but remember how I told you I have no idea what title you actually see on this video? It's actually a really good thing that that's true, which we'll explain in a second as well. But the fourth thing to add to your title for relevancy is something that makes it seem like your video's solution is better than everybody else's. So if it's usually a time-consuming process that you're teaching, you could add in 5 minutes. Or if it's something that's usually complex, you can say the simplest solution possible. Now, don't go trying to add all 4 of those to every single title. 1 is fine. 2, if you can make it work, but we never want our titles to be longer than about 60 characters because after that, they get cut off on mobile devices. Now, here are the 2 titles I gave this video. The YouTube title mistake every business owner gets tempted to make, and how to write YouTube titles for business owners. I'd love to know which title you're seeing as you're watching right now, and then we can see the results together based on all the comments. Now, here's the good news I promised you. A lot of people think of YouTube titles like a final exam, like you put it in there and it either lives or dies. But the truth is, you can change a title anytime, but even better, YouTube has a free feature built in where you can test up to 3 different titles, just like I tested 2 titles on this video. So you know titles help with the click, but only if it has a strong thumbnail to go with it. And a YouTube thumbnail on a business owner channel is a different strategy than what we see on all those big entertainment channels. But click the video on the screen right now and I'll walk you through exactly what you need to know to get the most clicks, views, leads, and sales possible.